Hello and welcome to December's Embodied Art Forms. We have a lot for this month. And then I also missed November's. Quick November highlights. I will just say that I watched the Miss Universe pageant, and I love pageant shows. I've been watching the Miss Universe pageant for years now, so wasn't gonna miss it this year. I have favorites, I definitely do, but then I also watched the Frankenstein movie, which I thought was very artsy, very poetic. I was a big fan of it. I thought it was good. And then the new Selena documentary, and that, lots of nostalgia, lots of emotion, lots of highs and lows. Definitely loved it. And then just for books, I didn't listen to a lot of music in November, but for books, I read 5 books. I Love Most Brutal, or Here. I think it's gonna be Here. I Love Most Brutal, Soul Searching, Last of His Blood, Great Big Beautiful Life, and Wild Card. And loved them all. Have loved them all. I thought they were all good. To November, to the current month. But for movies, I do think that with it being December, I tried watching a lot more like Christmassy themed movies. So The Polar Express, Grinch, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. But for my other category, I have an others category because the biggest art form, the art form that I really did step into and embody and spend and dedicate time to for the entirety of December was the Nutcracker. I posted the Nutcracker video before this one, so that one really kind of like just shows everything. The main themes of how this year's Nutcracker was. I loved it. It made me so happy. One of the big reasons why I am not wearing anything on my face and have my hair up is because we're doing a lot of rejuvenation things. My ends were burnt to a crisp. I had to trim it. I've got some breakouts going on, so but I still really wanted to sit down with you and go over all of the fun art things that we did. I love the Nutcracker. This was my second year doing it. And it just is such a thing to really, like, you know, get in character and really feel the themes, the good and beautiful and loving themes that this month could really mean to one, and so to oneself. But yeah, it really helps me in that. I think it's incredible. I get to dance, I get to act, I get to be on stage, I get to daydream and just play around, and it's Christmas themed. So And then kind of going hand in hand with that, one of the other art forms that I did was creating Christmas cards, which I believe I have some snapshots here, which was, and I kind of showed more of the process of me doing that in my December overall theme video. We just pumped it. Listen, put that in the category too. Video editing, videography, all that stuff for art forms this month. Shoot, normally I go months without posting a video. Not this month. 3 videos 1 month. Feeling pretty proud in that sense. But for Christmas gifts, for my coworkers as well as my co-stars, my co-dancers, my team, my partners, in the Nutcracker, it's kind of like a tradition on opening or closing night. I think it's very much more common from what I've noticed, is opening night, but they're kind of like small little tokens, sweet little thank yous, or just kind of like small nice little gestures that people give one another. And I didn't do anything last year just because it was my first year and I didn't know that that was a thing. And so this year, for me, I have a big office, and of course, you know, there's a big team, a big group of dancers, and so I thought it was just a lot more meaningful and also a lot easier to plan for, was creating my Christmas cards. And so it was really sweet. It was Nutcracker themed, of course, because I just figured I would go same design, pretty much all I had, same concept pretty much for all cards. And it was, yeah, it was, the inside was a little soldier mouse, little king mouse, and a sweet little, you know, Christmas message. The cover was a Christmas door with like a wreath or socks or lights or something. I loved doing that. I really did. It was so much fun, and sweet. My hands, I did a lot of them. I think in total I did 13 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5. So a big number, a big number of things, of people. And then a small little thing, which I actually have one to show you for my last category, my other arts category, was, so I made all those cards, but then since I was a party parent in the dance, I was a mother of 4, and not for them, I just want to do a little something extra, not just the cards. So I made them little like key charms that they could either clip on their purses or their phones. I don't know if that is a thing. I feel like that is still a thing, but I don't know how. Maybe on the phone cases. Maybe I would know if I put a case on my phone. But I have these little sweet charms. Let me get it real quick. It's these sweet little charms that I have, like, I put a little colored heart charm with 2 matching beads on top, and then it comes down and you have a bow, a snowflake, and then a little beaded angel on in between or next to. It just depends on how like it fell when I put them in. And it was just, I just gave this to them, and it was like a sweet little thing. that I thought they'd like, and if not, they can give it or what have you. I mean, I feel like they're cute. I feel like it was a good idea. I felt like it was good. It was a good little sweet thing to do. And what I watch, which typically is what we normally would cover each month, but it's just a little different because obviously it's December, it's the end of the year, the new year's coming, things are coming to an end, things are rebirthing, and so there was a lot of 2025 year-end review things, which we get through our wraps. And of course, like I feel like the most popular one definitely is Spotify. So for music, we have some things to cover. And I don't watch a lot of shows or movie, and if I do, it normally is the exact same thing. And I just kind of like shuffle through, like I'll watch one through show and then I'll start my other show and then I'll like rewind. But if I'm not doing that, I am watching YouTube. I'm very much a YouTube person. I feel like I just feel like YouTube is very much my area, that I spend most of my watch time on. So I have my YouTube wrap, and then my books, guys. I'm such a bookie. I'm such a reader, and so we have a books wrap. So for music, let's get to the real popular one. For music, I liked it. I'm not sure if it is. I don't feel that it was accurate in my artist section. I feel like in everything else, I feel like it was pretty accurate, but I feel like they got it wrong because there's an artist that I listened to a lot last year, but I really did not listen to them this year. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's get into it. My top artists were Jessie Reyes, Mile Hart, Goldford, Throne, and Caitlyn. And I definitely think I listened to a lot of Jessie Reyes. She released an album this year, and I love her. I've been a big fan of her for a lot. So and a lot of these songs were catchy and good, so I'm a fan. And then Goldford, I really like. I think his music is really good to listen to on a lot of different occasions or feelings you're trying to embody, like very different ones. I think he does a really good job at like encapsulating and being able to like make his songs fit with a lot of different like emotions and feelings and types, I guess. But anyway, my top songs of the year were Tears Dry on Their Own by the legendary lady Amy Winehouse, Dirt Roads, Concrete, Dead and Gone, which I also am not sure if that's accurate because I do listen to that song, because it comes on a lot, but I don't think I listened to it that much, but maybe I did. And then Brown Eyes and Backwoods. And yeah, those ones I feel like definitely were pretty accurate, except for Dead and Gone. The other ones, I definitely listened to them a whole lot. My top genres were trap soul, pop rap, retro soul, indie folk, and pop. My listening age, 24. I'm not really surprised by that, but I do listen to a lot different types of music. I feel like I would have been just a little bit older, but oh well. Club, I'm in the Cloud State Society, which is finding peace through music. New members are gifted houseplants, and I just love that. I love that little description. So that was pretty much it. I don't really care about like the minutes I listen to. I'm sorry guys. So I don't really remember what that was. I think it was 28,000 maybe. Other than that, yeah, those are all the part of my raps that I am more interested in. Now my YouTube rap, I feel like, because my YouTube rap also covers music, I definitely agree that my YouTube rap is much more accurate on the music front for sure. So no shade to Spotify, but I do think YouTube was better at analyzing that. For YouTube, my top interests were cozy home ideas, relaxation techniques, travel documentaries, personal development, and creative hobbies. Sides of me category had me as homebody, so watched a lot of home renos, organization, and makeovers. Relaxed side of me watched a lot of ASMR, relaxing videos, and sleep hypnosis videos. And then the other side of me was adventurous, travel vlogs explaining new perspectives and homesteading. My type, the creative spirit, which is 5% of people and is compatible with trailblazers and dreamers. So if you're a trailblazer or a dreamer, hit me up. No, I'm just kidding. In early 2025, I watched a lot. There was a lot of focus on self-care. Mid 2025, explored creative outlets. And then late 2025, I learned about different cultures. And my top songs were Time in a Tree, Vulnerability, Goliath, Brown Eyes and Backwoods, and Grateful. Those ones I definitely feel is a lot more accurate than my top songs to Spotify, because I listened to these not only on YouTube but Spotify, and repeat. I love these songs so much. My top artists were Ed Sheeran, Rayleigh Ritchie, Halsey, Jessie Reyes, and Elena Baraz. I don't know. I feel like it is definitely accurate. However, I feel like the data is a little skewed, just because for my concert that I went with my friend Elizabeth in November, we put her on repeat. We were listening to her and over again to get into the spirit of the concert. So I see how they had that in my top 5 for sure, 100%. However, typical day to day, I think unfortunately that 4th place definitely more accurately probably should have gone to one of my other ones that I listened to, but that's okay. If I had to put it in, I'd probably say off the top of my head Londerell maybe. But anyway, YouTube award, my YouTube award for my YouTube rap was most likely to plan a relaxing weekend to get away with a good book and some tea. And my top channels were Lydia Lease Millen, Ophelia's Playlist, Monet McMichaels, and Hannah Lee Duggan, and Megan Grubb. And then our final wrap, which is a big one, is our books. Before the wrap, so I have my books wrap, but then of course I still read read a few new books this month. So the new ones that I read were Last One Standing Another book I read was How to Not Court Your Human Captive. I really like this author because she wrote another series that I really like, and a few other standalones that I find are extremely cute, romantic, smutty, and she has a very fun and playful but also poetic way. I just love like authors who it's almost as just like their writing, it sounds like lyricism to me. And she has that, and so I wanted to read that one. I'm not really into reading about like monsters and things like that, but I really like her, so I wanted to give the book a chance. And it was cute. I did like it. I don't know, I definitely still have my favorites for sure, but it was still a good read. It was still like just a fun little light comforting read to have. I finished this book called Please Don't Go, and I really like it. I think I feel like it definitely is a little bit more serious than just your average like romance, your average modern romance. There's still smut, there's still romance, there's still of course the typical things we like to see when we read, but it brought a little bit more seriousness because it touches on some really sensitive topics that I feel a lot more of us may experience than we may think. And so, and just the way, I don't know, I thought it was good about handling that while writing it, while also incorporating it into a story about love and understanding. And so I thought that was really good. I wasn't expecting that when I read this book. I thought it was going to be just another light book, a little light, sweet, fun read. But no, so I definitely am gonna read more from this author. I really was caught unexpected in a very good way. So I finished The Listeners by Maggie Stiefvater, and she is probably my favorite author, guys, because my favorite book is written by she, and my favorite series is written by she. I've read a lot of her other series and things, been following and wanting to support her writing and stuff for a long time, and I definitely had this on my TBR, and had been in my sights for a long time, for a minute. So I finally was able to pick it up, and it's so good. I can't tell if it's gonna be a series or if it's a standalone. I'm interested to see how it would become a series. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want it to be a series. I would love to know more. But though it does feel it does seem like it might be. It does come off as it possibly is just a standalone. So I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. I have more questions. I have more things that I want to examine and think of. I definitely want to reread this for sure. It is because I just definitely think it's something that I'm gonna want to reread at least another time. So I thought that was really good. I really liked it. I took my sweet time in reading it, definitely. Normally, I read books like in just a few days. Hers, I really wanted to savor it, and I really only wanted to read it when I had time to literally just sit and give it all my time and not like have other things on my mind or anything like that. So finding time to do that was a little bit more scarce, but we still did it. I still read it. I still enjoyed it deeply. I would recommend it for sure. But the wrap, let's get into the wrap. Our book wrap. In total, I read, and I should say this wrap, I got through the Fable app. I am on Fable. I do have a Goodreads. I'm just very curious and interested in many different types of appy things, because there's so many different ways to do something and so many fun other creative things like that. And so obviously if I wouldn't have been curious to see what Fable was about, I wouldn't have this. And that's awesome. I like it. I really only get on there to just update my reading list. I don't really interact with much with the clubs or anything like that, but I feel like if I give myself a chance to, it definitely, I get a tiny bit of Tumblr feels, maybe a little bit. So I'm curious. I would like to. I was a Tumblr girl, if you didn't just guess. And so I feel like I'm like, okay, a booky themed one of that. Yeah. But I just haven't yet. But anyway, I really like the wrap. I think I think that was so cool. So anyways, in total, I read 58 books. On average, I finished a book in 7 days, which is 5 days faster than most. Not to brag or anything. My longest streak was 26 days, and that's because normally on the weekends I don't read. I normally read during the weeks, like Monday through Friday, but that's not to say that's always the case. I'm just saying on average, that's normally how it is. My top genre was romance, and I finished 24 more romances than I did last year. So seems like we were really in the themes of love this year. My most popular pick that I read this year that was most popular like across the board was Fourth Wing. So I read it for the first time this year. I know it had been out because I think the fourth book released this year, but most popular pick. And then my rarest pick that I read was Trader Sun. That was cool. I wasn't expecting that, so that was a little fun. And then part of that wrap, it allowed me to kind of put my own input on there. So out of the books that I read this year, I think the most underrated book I would say that I read was The Reckoning of Heirs, because this book is so good. I think her writing, the themes in which she writes about, it's so good. It's so good. It's the second book to The Tournament of Heirs, and I really love the series, and thought it was so beautifully done. It is in the Hunger Games realm where, competing to the death type of thing, but even still, I think her take on it's still kept me engaged for sure. So I think it's very underrated. I think the art that's also done for this book, not just the writing, not just the story, not just the characters, but the art that the author has like made for it. It's so incredible. I'm gonna see if I can insert it, but it's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. My top read, I think, I don't know if it is like my most favorite read out of the year, because we read books for very different reasons, but I do think I would say it out of my top 5, this 100% would make it in my top 5, which is They're Going to Love You. And I found this book to be very beautiful. It did move me to physical tears. It did, it does talk about hard things. It talks about very beautiful things. It has an essence that I don't normally get from most of the books I read. Granted, I do read a lot of romance, but even still, I think just again, her poetic writing, very rhythmic writing, very deep writing. I love this book so much. I think it was such a great read. I definitely have considered adding this book to my physical collection, because I love it that much. And then my prettiest read, I guess I got confused. Prettiest read, I don't know. There's no way I could find like the prettiest read as far as like story writing and things like that, because that is, I mean, a lot of the books that I read and that I love are for very pretty, music-y sounding literature. And I misread it, so I don't know if it meant that, but I originally read it as like prettiest cover, and I kind of second my guess. I was like, is this kind of promoting like judging a book on its cover a little bit? But I was like, honestly though, but like, yeah, it's art. The cover of a book is art, guys. What do you mean? The prettiest read, the prettiest cover, the prettiest cover that did snag my attention, I chose was Together We Burn, just because it's like a really pretty illustration. It's just kind of a little, I don't know, it's just a little different. It reminds me of like stitching in a quilt or something. I think it's so beautiful. I think it's different. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's really pretty. I really love it. So that is the end of the art forms that were embodied in December. I really loved it. It was very crafty. There were a lot of different art shapes coming together, and I loved it. This was a very full month of creating, and so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you read or seen or listened to any of the stuff that was mentioned or anything, let's talk about it. So love ya. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see ya when I see ya.